On this episode of Going for Pro, we're going to finish painting the car and get everything done tonight. Let's go. So as you can tell, everything's in tight quarters. I kind of moved the car all the way to the side, have everything moved out of the way in the sense. It's going to be tight painting it, especially over there. And the hood, I'm not sure what I'm going to do about it because I need to also paint the underneath and also put gloss on the top. So what I'll probably do is put some regular paint on the top and then put some clear and then let it sit and then start spraying the rest of the car and flip it over. So right now the car's set up where I need it to be. Still haven't wiped it down. There's a lot of stuff on it, especially the trunk. So we're gonna wipe everything down, get it set, prepped, and ready for paint, and then start putting some color on it, and then we're gonna slap some clear on everything, and then call it a night. So let's get to it. So I got everything wiped down. As you can tell, it looks a lot better. You know, there's no marks right here, and you know, everything's wiped down. You're gonna see marks right here just because of scrapes and scratches of me sanding and of overspray. So that's fine. It looks good for what it is. And then the trunk's wiped down top and bottom all the way around. The inside of the trunk I'm not worried about, just the actual trunk lid. You know, wipe down everything with the tack cloth, which you guys should do if you're gonna be spraying. And the reason for that is this is my second one, and that's all the junk that if I just wiped it down with a grease remover, that's the stuff that you'd be putting in your paint, which ain't good and makes the quality a little bit more shittier. Again, it would come out a lot better if it was, inside a paint booth, but this is a makeshift paint booth, and I'm just rolling with what I got. So we're gonna put some color on this and around the edges and the back of the trunk, and what we have left over is gonna go on the jambs and then the door bars. And then I'm going to switch over to clear to clear everything up on the back of the trunk and everything I just sprayed to clear it out. So I can flip this over once it's done drying and close the trunk lid so I can actually start spraying everything else with color and be good. So let's get to it. Going to put you guys on time lapse. Hope you guys enjoy. Well, I didn't time-lapse much throughout this video. I did get clear on the bottom doors and like right there, which is pretty clear, shiny, but small problem, which is kind of fine. I need to touch up some stuff, had some runs, put my finger right there, but I ran out of paint. So preparation's key. I guess I didn't prep good enough, so gonna let this sit for today. Gonna end up sanding some of this stuff, wiping it back down. I had some weird spots that showed up right around this area, as you can see, and right there. So what's gonna end up happening is I'm gonna order the stuff, sand what I need to. There's a mark right there. So let it dry, sand it, and then respray. I got some inside the car with the little bit I had left. Not even gonna clean the gun tonight. I know that's not good for it, but just kind of disappointed because I didn't prep good enough. So moved everything back inside, and I'll catch you guys when I get some more paint. So catch you in a little bit. So it's a couple days later, and I'm looking at the paint that I laid down. I really need a paint right here. Clean that up, and also I put my hand right there. That's probably going to take some glazing putty, and that is too. Now jumping over to the other side, I did manage to put my hand in there to see if it was dry, and well, it wasn't. So gonna sand that down, prep it back for paint, and then bolt the doors on because I did clear them and it did come out pretty good. So I'm just gonna throw those on because, well, it's easier to paint when you have doors on the car. So let me put you guys on time lapse and I'm gonna get working on this stuff. So I got everything wiped down. I realized I have a scratch right here. It's hard to see, but gonna put some putty filler in there, or glazing putty, and then also gonna put some glazing putty right here, and also in this line right there. So gonna do that, and then I'll get back with you all. So I got everything wiped down and sanded. That came out perfect the way I wanted it to. So a little bit of glazing putty. And also we're going to look over here, and it came out pretty good. It's smooth, or smoother at least, and also this big divot, it came out pretty smooth. So I'm going to put these on the car, build them up, because they do have some gloss on them, and that's the only thing I wanted on it. So it came out perfect. So throw these on the door and then wipe everything down, and then we're going to be painting. So as you can tell, I have the whole garage rearranged as I want it. I have my paint set up right there, which is in the center of where I'm painting. And then I also sanded some spots, and let me show you that. So I sanded the edges where I did put some gloss and where I did not, because this is not a chemical binding compound. It has to stick to something. I sanded around the edges. It has gloss right there. I plan on putting more gloss, but this is going to be covered. And it might not stick to this, but it might stick to it. It might not, it might. So, you know, one thing you have to realize, paint is a texture, you know, base coat. So it has to have something to stick to. So I sanded everything around here where there was gloss or there was paint originally. Also right here on the top. And then also on the hood itself, I sanded it all around these edges because I had some rough spots where the paint was peeling up, or not peeling up, but it was just texturized. So I'm just gonna, you know, leave it as it is. I sanded inside the engine bay also, where there I did put some paint down, and then tomorrow when I get to it, we're gonna put some paint and maybe show you something special in the engine bay. But stay tuned. So I just got everything prepped to spray. As you can tell, the car looks cleaner, no more dust on it. So I got everything wiped down, ready to spray. Again, I'm probably going to be spraying the roll bar one more time and the protrusion bars one more time, and then we're going to put some clear on everything, well, and then spray the rest of the car, and then it's clear on the engine bay and roll cage, and then clear on everything else. So let's get to it. So I just got done putting on all the color on all the car, and it came out pretty good. There's not deep zebra striping, which is awesome. So that means the clear is going to go on pretty well. I probably won't put on a bunch of clear. It'll probably just be one coat or maybe two, because I only have half a gallon. And I put 3 on all the bolt-ons, and well, I only used half of it. So I'm going to try to go light on this next set. So I'm going to let this fast dry. Going to hang up some of the stuff I need to repaint up on there, or recolor or clear, I mean. But it's going to come out pretty good. I mean, the car's turning out great. Just need to do the cage and the inside of the engine bay first, and then I am going to do the outside of the car. So let's get to it. And since I might not be able to show you, I'm putting wrinkle, or well, flake, and it's going to be all over the engine bay and the roll bar and the protrusion bars. So I'm probably going to do it pretty heavy, but let's see how it turns out. So I just put the clear coat, or the first clear coat, on the engine bay. I didn't get a time lapse of it, but there is a lot of sprinkles or flake in here. Some areas are thicker than others, and then some areas are not. It's just the way it is for me. But I think it came out pretty good. You can't see that well in this dark garage, but once I put another clear coat on it, you'll be able to see. So let me get back to it. Plus I need to put my mask back on, and because of all the fumes and whatnot, but that's the way it looks, and it looks pretty good. And I also did the roll cage right here, and it turned out decently, you know, better than what it was, and you know, I'm proud of it, and that's all that matters. And then I got a lot right there, I don't know how. And there's going to be a little bit of sprinkles in the coat, or clear coat, just because that's just the beast of the nature, but it'll tie everything in. If you can't see it, there's a little bit of sprinkles, like that one right there. That just got sprayed all over the car, but it's fine, it's whatever. Gonna live with it and keep on rolling. And then I put a little bit of clear coat with sprinkles right there. But get back to it. So the car is now finally sprayed and is perfect. I just got done with spraying the car and letting the air clear out. Everything came out pretty good. I do have some runs, especially down here, but some sanding and some buffing will get some of these runs out, like that one right there. My gun started messing up on me. So my gun started messing up on me mid-spray, and I couldn't figure out what the problem is. I think the gun's just worn out and used. So luckily I had another backup gun that I switched to, and it came out phenomenal after that. It did spray really heavy on the paint, so that was the main issue I was having. And let me show you what it did. So the gun was spraying so thick on the paint, as you could tell, like right there where it devils in, and right there, that it was just laying a gobs of clear coat on there. And so now I'm going to have to sand it and wax it and buff it, but I was planning to do that anyways because there's a lot of junk in the paint, as you can tell, like right there, and it's just massive amounts of it, and that's just comes from spraying in the garage. So I'm gonna have to wet sand and buff it, but it came out pretty good. Now let me show you the engine bay. So the engine bay looks phenomenal. I did mess up on this part right here, but luckily I'm going to have a strut or a brace right here, strut brace, which is going to even everything out. And then it sprayed really heavy right here on the gloss, and that's the way it came out. But I started shaking it afterwards, and it got really heavy on the gloss right over, oh my goodness, right over there, as you can tell. So but it came out phenomenal. I went heavy on the flake or the gloss in the engine bay, and you could see the flake from a mile away. But I'm really happy with it. I'll probably not even wet sand it, just leave it as it is. I'm proud of it. Again, cars are for you, not for anybody else, but I'm happy with it. But that's going to be it for this video, y'all. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys watching, and again, never give up.